Hello everyone, welcome to Liam's License. I'm your host Liam, and today I'm going to be doing the Warband tag. So I did get tagged by Raph Bluetax, who has an amazing channel. He does a lot of essays, I guess you could call them, his videos, so go and subscribe to him if you haven't already. His content is superb. But I did get tagged by him, and this will probably come out like way after everyone else's because I just have to fit in my schedule. I might put this on a day I don't even normally do videos, depending on like if I have enough video like content filmed. But I did want to do the Warband tag. This tag was created by the Brothers Gwyn, if I'm remembering correctly. So I'll try to link both Raph's and the Brothers Gwyn videos down below. So I did add 2 more to this list. Basically there's a warband that you're supposed to fill the roles essentially from characters in books that you've read. This mostly fits with fantasy characters. You could probably fit science fantasy in there. I don't know about sci-fi though. So anyways, for leader, I was going to go with Jarell of Jouari, mostly because she's a really good leader, I feel like, personally. She's rather fearless, but she also cares about her men, and the people beneath her that, that she's in charge of, essentially, right? So, but she's just also a cool character, right? Of course. So that's why I wanted to choose her. I read her stories. I started actually late last year, but I finished early this year. Pretty good stuff. If you haven't read Jarell of Jouari, she's a character of 6 stories, one of which is co-written by Harry Kuttner. And has his character Northwest Smith, who's kind of like a proto Han Solo, but Kuttner was C.L. Moore's husband, actually. So she's one of the earliest sword and sorcery authors. Moore is. She's also just an old pulp author from like Weird Tales day and age. She's also one of the earlier fantasy like female fantasy authors. So if that sounds cool, which I think it does, you should go and read her, honestly. So yeah, that's my leader though, Jarell of Jouari. And then champion, I'm gonna go with Conan of Samaria, just to keep that theme going a little bit. Conan doesn't lose, right? I mean, if he could work as a leader, but that's not really the thing he wants to do, right? That's a burden for him of sorts. So as a champion though, like if we were to send him out to win our battles, if it was 1 versus 1 with another champion, then I don't think we would lose. I don't think that's like possible, honestly. So Conan of Samaria, that's Robert E. Howard's creation, of course. You might know him more as Conan the Barbarian, but if you haven't read Robert E. Howard's Conan stuff, then you need to do so. So Councilor, I'm gonna go with Heimron, actually. This is a character from the Saga Lucimia novel by T.W. Anderson, Echoes of the Past. Heimron is a very fun character, I think. He's you can almost describe him as slovenly, but he's definitely not what you would think of as a counselor, but he actually proves to be rather effective, though he's helped out a lot in the role in the novel. His character arc, personally, is one of my favorites I've ever read. I love Heimron as a character. It's not a very popular novel. It's actually out of print, but you can get it on Kindle still, so, and if you find a copy, of course. If you live near me, I'll let you borrow one because I have 2 copies, but so Heimron though from Echoes of the Past with T.W. Anderson, so that is my counselor. Now for Mage, this will surprise no one. There's a lot of options obviously you could go with, but I'm gonna go with Elminster. He's just, the old mage, Sage of Shadowdale. He is Elminster Omar, he is Prince of Athelantar, chosen of the goddess of magic, Mystra. What is not to love about Elminster? Of course, is probably the most famous creation of Ed Greenwood as far as characters go, and he created Forgotten Realms, which is more famous than Elminster. Elminster is now a commander card, I believe, in Magic the Gathering. So I love Elminster. I've read, at this point, several novels with Elminster as the main character, and several more novels with Elminster appearing, because he appears in a lot of Forgotten Realms novels. He appears in a lot of Forgotten Realms is source books and material as well, because Ed Greenwood writes a lot of those. He writes a lot of novels too, hence, you know, why he appears everywhere. But I really like Elminster. If you want a good origin story for Elminster and a good place potentially start Forgotten Realms, check out Elminster, The Making of the Mage. I have done a review for that as well. It's actually one of my more popular reviews. Right, and then for Swordsman, this one is actually kind of hard, and I kind of cheated a little. So I put Grey Mouser, and I attached Fafhrd, because you just don't do Grey Mouser without Fafhrd. This is, of course, from the Fafhrd and Grey Mouser books by Fritz Leiber, who's one of my favorite authors. I have all my Leiber books right here. Bing, bing, bing. So that collection is growing. Right by Moorcock. He was by Zelazny, but I got too many Leiber and Moorcock books, so I had to move Zelazny. They're still by Cherry, though. CJ Cherry. So, yeah, Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser, best swordsman of all time, essentially. You gotta have them in the Warband. And they're the twain, right? So you can't just have one of them. All right, and then Axeman, I was gonna go with Druss the Legend from Legend by David Gemmell. Keeping in the heroic fantasy vibe going on here. Yeah, Druss is just awesome. I think that he does appear in at least one other novel, which is a prequel to Legend. If you've read Legend, you know why. But Legend is a great book. It was one of my favorite books last year. I haven't actually read any Gemmell so far this year. I should fix that. I want to fix that before the year's up. I'd like to read at least Waylander. But Druss is the best Axeman you could ask for. So, yeah, Druss. And then Archer, Legolas, of course, from The Lord of the Rings. I needed to throw some Lord of the Rings love in here, so Legolas is the man of the hour, right? Legolas Greenleaf, rather, of the Woodland Realms, what do I call it? The Greenwood, or Mirkwood, I guess. That's generally how it's put in the story. So, yeah, son of Thranduil, just Legolas. Everyone knows who the Legolas is. I mean, at least from the Peter Jackson films. So, you don't beat Legolas either, right? Right, and then Spearman, I actually decided to go with Kaladin here. I don't talk a lot about the Stormlight Archive on this channel because I haven't read any Sanderson since Rhythm of War was new, which was several months before I started my channel. So, but I do like Kaladin still as a character. Hopefully I like him still by the time the 5th Stormlight Archive book comes out. But as of right now, I still like Kaladin, and I think he's a good spearman. I don't know if I put him as my leader, hence why I didn't put him as my leader. But he's a good spearman, for sure. And those are important, actually. Spearmen don't get a lot of attention in fantasy, even though spearmen are rather common in actual medieval stuff. Anyways, Animal Companion. I had a hard time with this one because I don't like a lot of Animal Companions don't stick out to me so much, or the ones I think of are really not that impressive to me. So, or I don't actually care, but for some reason I'm remembering that one. So I put Build a Pony because it's Build a Pony. Can't ask for a more trusty pony. Anyways, and Wildcard. This is supposed to be the last one, but I added a couple more. So Wildcard, though, I decided to put Elric of Melniboné. Kind of a servant of chaos. Depends. But he wields Stormbringer, of course, which is one of the coolest swords in fantasy literature, up there with Gurthing, in my opinion. And then, yeah, it's just Elric. He's a wild card because, for all I know, he could kill me, or there's a good chance he'll get me killed anyways, but, it'd be cool to have him on my warband still. So, and I also added Bard, because what warband doesn't want some tunes sung around, campfire or whatever. So I put Indrajit from the Indrajit in Fixed Stories by DJ Butler, or Dave Butler. He's actually been on the channel before, and I have a review for the first novel, which is In the Palace of Shadow and Joy. It's kind of a Liberian, Vancian mix of fantasy in a sort. So, but Indrajit's one of the main characters, so he is a bard, and he will recite his epic of his people. And maybe he can recite something else, so that'd be entertaining, right? If that's the case, right? So, anyways, I also put healer in here. I was messing around with priest, healer. I don't know, priest made it seem more like a D&D party thing to me, and I wasn't exactly wanting to go for a D&D party, because warband, D&D party, they don't mean exactly the same thing. So, I decided to go with just healer instead, because that would be good to have around, whether we make it as a medic, or, jure or something, but, I decided to go with Erebus Kale because I realize that's a really weird choice. A lot of you probably don't know who Erebus Kale is. He's from the Erebus Kale novels. There are 8 of them. They're all written by Paulus Kemp. There are some short stories as well. I have done a video. One of my first videos was why you should read the Erebus Kale saga. He is a priest, and so he does have healing capabilities. He is a cleric. These are D&D novels. They're Forgotten Realms novels. Those books made like some of my top ones for 2021. Erebus Kale, though, he'd be good as a healer because he can heal, but as a character, he's very effective. I don't want to say exactly why super effective because that's a spoiler for the first trilogy, but very effective, more so later in the series, but really effective as he's a thief, but kind of just really effective in combat. I don't know, Erebus Kale, you should go read those books. So the first book is Shadow's Witness, so again by Paulus Kemp. I don't have any of these books out with me right now. So, but that is my warband. So I think, what is that, 12 positions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12. So originally there's 10, I added 2 more. I have no clue who to tag. I'm pretty sure most people have probably done this at some point. If you haven't been tagged for whatever reason and you want to do this, you're tagged. Sorry, I don't know who hasn't. I'm really bad at this tagging thing. But hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you enjoyed my warband, because I think my warband is the coolest, of course. Obviously, there was some hard won spots though, of course. Had a lot of other options I could have gone with for most of these. So anyways, it's been Liam of Liam's Lyceum. I will catch you next time.